name is Janet, and today our topic is going to be protection of innocence, and how as future educators we need to be able to realise the smuck that's being driven on our students and ways we need to develop of protecting them. Our special guest today is Ryan.
Hello Ryan, I'm Ryan, this is Janet. How are you today, Janet?
I'm good. Now Ryan, tell us more about this protection of innocence.
Alright, so the issue of protection of innocence in education is very closely linked to the issue of commercialism, and it's an issue that's been labelled as the corporate takeover of childhood. So my opinion, our opinion in this is that schools should be treated as safe zones for children without outside influences like corporate influences, as there's already enough marketing and enough marketed products marketed at children as is. So yeah, schools should really be treated as a safe zone for that.
Tell us more about this market for children.
Right. Well, the market for children and adolescents is actually really huge. In the US, $600 billion to $1.8 trillion in spending is influenced by children. So it's a massive market. When you consider that over 47 million students attend school every day, you just look at the size of the market and how big it is. When they're all in one place, you're able to promote to them at one time. They're in the same stage of life, so it's very easy to target them given the size, that 47 million, they are a really big market. And in Australia we see that the teen market is worth $4 billion a year alone. So businesses really want to get in there with their products that are geared at children. We're seeing teams of companies are developing teams who are responsible for child psychology and the way we market products at children. And given that they influence so much money within our corporate makeup, it's no wonder that they're doing this.
What are some issues faced by the children that are brought on by all this advertising and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, given that there is so much advertising that we're seeing to children, such as through children's TV shows, through the internet, mobile phones, children's magazines and films, what they tend to do, or what they attempt to do, is pry on the insecurities of children as well as well-intentioned parents, really. And they become linked to a number of social issues such as popularity, child obesity and the sexualisation of children. Parents really want to be able to give their kids the best. They're well-intentioned, but unfortunately what happens is they can often be manipulated to give their children what they want, because these things are driven by things like branding. Different issues of older students are seeming to be forced on the younger students. Issues with body image and sexuality and personal perception are all kind of filtered through these different forms of advertising. They're being passed on, and that's what's creating this cycle.
Okay, tell us a bit more about this branding.
Alright, well, branding, as we've seen really develop over the last 50 years or so, has become a very important issue, especially for our generation. We see that branding becomes very important for self-identity. And there was one case where an 11-year-old student was asked about how important brands are to her, and her response was, "I love brands. Brands are my life. Brands not only tell me who I am, but also protect me from problems with others in my class." And you see that it sets a dangerous kind of precedent, and it's a dangerous mentality for us to be promoting as educators, because we're teaching and promoting that fulfillment comes through what you have through your branding. And also, I found particularly interesting that she said that she avoids problems with others in her class because of this. So there's a disconnection from her peers who may not have the brands. She may feel she's targeted if she doesn't have the brands by other peers. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that come up from these issues of branding.
Okay, so how does this affect us as future educators?
Yep. As future educators, be great to think that we can preserve this innocence of children, let kids be kids, really. We don't want to see issues of adolescence and kind of teenagers thrust upon them too soon. We want them to be able to enjoy learning and playing as children, and as educators we should protect them from these influences as much as we can. They already have enough advertising and enough marketing thrown towards them, and we'll probably see this continue to grow as different marketing and as the global media and commercialism just becomes a greater issue within our society. But yeah, we don't want to force these issues of life onto kids too soon. We want them to be able to focus on their education, be able to focus on what's important at that time, and we need to just continue to promote importance of who kids are, of who students are, who they are as a person, instead of focusing on what they have and what they can gain and what fulfilment really is.
Very deep, very deep.
So we'll be
My name's Janet, and this is Ryan, and this has been Protection of Innocence. Peace out.